My guest today is David Maayan. He conceived the play The More It Comes, The More It Goes in 2022 and directed it at Nestroyhof, Hamakom in Vienna. Today is the 31st of January 2025 and we are online on Zoom. Welcome, David. Thank you
Hello.
so much for taking your time in these extraordinary times.
Thank you.
David, you have been working on the Shoah, on remembrance and personal testimonies for a long time, and you have brought groundbreaking productions on stage, such as Arbeit, macht, frei. Would you like to start a little bit about these former performances?
Yes. It's interesting. First of all, thank you very much for the interview and for, let's say, the opportunity to present also an artist, or to present me as an artist in
Mhm.
the timeline, or in the movement where all the things that I did so far was appearing. It's like I thought while you were talking, I was thinking about that actually when you are an artist, you are equipped with tools to serve something through art. And as I was born in Israel, and I was going through the Israeli, um, not society, but the Israeli way of living, so I felt that I have a kind of duty to deal with materials that are local and connected to the Israeli contemporary life. And
Mm.
but on the other hand, I was also loyal, or I am loyal, for whatever. I was always an artist that has tools to create something with these tools that are in service for society
Mhm.
everywhere, that I can reflect this being a witness for something. So for me it was in a way important to find a way to combine the loyalty for the local place I was born and the materials that are occupying the society, and on the other hand to always be free to serve as artist, to develop tools in theater, for example, to create a different aspect of theater, to bring to theater new stuff that I believe that it's possible in my time when I was student, going into the world and say, now I will make theater. I study in the university, and then now it's my ability to do something. And
Mhm.
I think that the fact that I was then aware for it brought me also, together with my personal story, or my biography, to be able to present the topic of Holocaust, which was quite heavy, with a very fair way, with a very advanced way, and also that you can also look at it and you say, there is also a theater language here. There is
Mhm.
also a original approach to the material. There is a way to give the audience tools to deal with the material, and not just to make another performance about Holocaust.
Hmm. I mean, we will soon jump into the more it comes, the more it goes. But just one view on Arbeit macht frei. It
Mhm.
is a radical and totally dramatic play, and it was well and as a radical performance we perceived and received all over the world. Would you like to talk a little bit about the special um, kind of setting things on stage, also this radical moment to put Palestinians and Israelis together, which was absolutely extraordinary at that
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. Well, it's very good. Thank you for the question. And well, Arbeit macht frei, as if was a local story or a local performance about the Holocaust, but actually, let's see the title. The title Arbeit macht frei is only half of the title, because the full title is Arbeit, macht, frei, freeing us from dead land Europa. This is the full name. And the meaning of it was, as us, as the third generation, second and third generation, we wanted to suggest the possibility to free ourselves from a certain past, which is a topic that is right for any civilization, any citizen, any person, the Israelis, the Palestinians, the Germans, the Austrians, the whatever, Indians in America. So the natural wanting to make this freedom was bringing this topic through a local story that was accumulating information from witnesses through the body and the spirits of the actors, which were in a way the second and third generation survivors. Yeah. You know, you also wrote about it or mentioned it, this idea that what is happening now when there is no anymore real.
Yes, I mean that this is the center of my little project, and the idea that everywhere on Earth now it's time that that the survivors and the witnesses are at the end of their lives, and they can't give testimonies any longer. And this is the specific question: how does the theater deal with this? And
well, we realized it when we did Arbeit, macht, frei, which was in the you know, we were doing it in the 89 we started. 1989 we started the process. For 3 years we were working, and we already realized that the precious people that were eyewitness and really witnessing everything and being there are getting less and less and less and less. So it's really a good moment for us, a privilege to be the people that are meeting the last witnesses. We are the one to meet the last witnesses, and they are actually depositing in our hand their knowledge, their rituals, the place they are. And we are the generation that took upon themselves to proceed and to take it further with artistic tools, meaning it was totally, for me, totally clear that after you meet a real witness or Holocaust survivor, then you will meet his family or her family around, and then the next and the next generation are people that heard the story and they are becoming witnesses. They are witnessing. I heard the story. And I, as a child, I was always, my parents were not coming from Europe, but my friends were children of really heavy Holocaust survivors. So I was growing in the houses of these people, and I myself, I was a witness. I got the stories directly from the parents, and I remembered the place. And then my father, that was a theater director, he was directing all the Holocaust ceremonies every year in a very small town in Israel. So I got on one hand the real witnessing, and then on the other hand, I got this arena of my father directing Holocaust survivors with people that came from Morocco that had no idea whatsoever. They did not even speak Hebrew, and they had to stand there with the clothes of the how to say, the Muslims, with a yellow stars, and to shout to God and to say, God, God, what did we do to you that you brought us to here? Like in the Holocaust, meaning to the that camp. But for them, it was opportunity to be astonished and to express their amazement situation, where they were coming and throwing them. They brought them from Morocco and throw them at night to different places in order to build the new Israel. So they were totally devastated and totally using this text to express their own emotions. So this, how to say, paradox was getting, how do you say, paving the ground for me to be able to see it from this extreme to this extreme, and then from that to go and to say, okay, this will be my way to make the testimony. How I will be just a tool, I will work with actors, and I will create the performance that is representing it.
And I mean, I just add this radical element of Arbeit, macht, frei again, because it was, for us, from the European perspective, it was so radical that you brought together young Israeli actors and young Palestine actors who even had to hide that they work with you because it was dangerous for their life to tell this to anybody. And so it was an existential performance and play for everybody who was in.
Of course, I have to really to emphasize this, because it was an event that was happening live, and it was bringing together not just Israelis and Palestinians, but it brought together Holocaust survivors and their children that they were never talking with each other about the topic. And later on, when we were in Europe, it brought also the meeting between Holocaust survivors, their children, and also the children of perpetrators that for the first time were allowing themselves to come to such an event and afterwards to react to it. So it was a very big, you call it in Hebrew, tikkun, meaning correction, meaning transformation of a whole generation to jump further and to be able to talk with each other, and if not talking to each other, at least be present together with an event that has something in common for everyone. And this is really something important. We had a whole scene there where people were really directly, the actors were speaking directly with the spectators about the topic, and everyone was participating. It was really, really, and I can tell you something, that to conclude the thing with Arbeit, macht, frei, because we were coming to speak about the more it comes, the more it goes. I tell you that before we made the performance, I mean, just to say that always there is a saying, does art influence the society or influence something when it comes to an action? So if before I started to work on Arbeit, macht, frei, the title Arbeit, macht, frei, when I was asking people what is Arbeit, macht, frei, no one knew to say it. Only one or two people could say, it was a title written on the gates of death camps, or about concentration camps. After the performance, when I asked what is Arbeit, macht, frei, people were saying it's a theater performance, and this is the big change.
Wow!
This is the big change. Yes.
Wow!
Yes.
Well, I never expected this. Wow, that's great. Next step, we come to the more it comes, the more it goes, but we go we do one step in between. You came to Vienna, and then you did at Schauspielhaus Vienna in 2005 Family Table. Besides, you also worked on Remembrance in the context of Linz Cultural Capital 2006, and you directed the Academy of the Impossible. You also collected local stories at the Festival der Regionen. But Family Table was also very specific because you brought together 11 different stories. And they were also, they had migrant and survivor parts, but there were also, how can you say, autochthon, genuine Austrians who come from the other side of the history.
Yeah, sure. It was the project, really the first point of view of the project was to locate 11, it is a number of choosing from the people that came to the audition, but we were describing people that are second and third generation in Austria,
Mm-hmm.
and that they can tell the story of their origin, to see how their point of life in that present moment is somehow connected to a story, and how to bring the story. So the audition was actually, everyone had to prepare a tour in the city that is telling his own story. And I said, okay, everyone can do it the way he thinks. And then we had a lot of great stories, and I had to choose from I don't know, 25 different stories, to choose just 11, because it was also a question of how many we can participate in this process. And then it also for me was to come equipped with tools to come to a new city, a new place, a new continent, a new language, everything was new for me. So for me, it was a very good way to plunge into the Austrian reality, the Viennese reality, and to let it be told by people that are in a way experiencing the same story on their own. And this was the ground. And then the process brought us to create this system that you walk in the city. I liked very much because according to theater, it was a very next level of being able in the same time to present 11 different experiences, and no one is seeing the same constantly. Only the last event is the one that brings everything together. And also there was a great miracle that it was not just, how to say, integration of the artist and their material, but it was also integrating the people, the audience that came to see it, and also the people that were witnessing secondhand what is happened. For example, if there's something happened inside the Straßenbahn, one of the tours was including the Straßenbahn on the way. So people that were sitting there from life were involved in artistic situation, not knowing what is going on. But also, and sometimes people were continuing to follow us and mingling with us and leaving after that the group. So, and in the end, let's say, if you were in a group coming alone and you met another 15 spectators that you don't know each other, after 1 hour and a half, you came to the collective place as friends. You had a good experience together. So this was very nice experience as theater, which is in a way a bit beyond theater, because
just to give a structural view on the piece, that were 11 different walks with 11 different life stories getting together in Schauspielhaus for a final at a family table, which was the kind of coda of the whole piece. And I can tell you personally, I've been in 2 times, and once watched David Bouvara's African life story on a playground in the 9th district, and we were in Africa. It was
totally
crazy thing. And then I went with Anna Mendelssohn, and it was amazing. The history there,
it's true. The version of the Schauspielhaus was the second time of showing the piece in Vienna Festwochen. It was the second time, because the first time was not the Schauspielhaus, the meeting point, but the Westbahnhof.
Okay.
And the place where the post was already abandoned, so it was a huge space, and we were building a much bigger table there, and we were sitting facing all the trains that are coming and going. So it was really a beautiful back scenery for the whole event. Yes. Yeah.
And so that's the moment we enter. The more it comes, the more it goes.
Yeah.
This is, I call it a surreal or surrealistic play in a way, but it includes also walks
Mm-hmm.
and different stations and different stages. I would love you to tell a bit about the the structure and dramaturgy of the more it
Yeah.
comes, the more it goes. And it happened 2022 in
Yeah.
Hamakom
Yes.
Nestroyhof. Mhm.
Yeah. So, well, the starting point was, let's say, an old wanting to collaborate together, Ingrid and me, and to
Mhm.
make a work. It was a long dialogue with Macomb Place since Frederick was there, and before they came to see my work in Linz, in Kulturhauptstadt Linz in '09, and they saw the Purim Spiel that I made there.
Mhm.
And then they loved it, and they immediately wanted that I do something like that also in Vienna, in their place. Anyway, to make long story short, we finally, with Ingrid, in her post as the artistic director, and yeah, so to make something, and the idea was, let's check what is going on here with youth. Where is the young generation? Where are they vis-a-vis to the topic of Holocaust, of remembrance, and whatever. And I said, okay, let's check it. And in that time, I had a good connection also today with Uli, one of the artists that was participating, Uli Probst, and he was my student in Schule des Theaters when I was teaching there. And he was working as a teacher in high school. So it was great because I said, "Wow, Uli, is it possible to check with your students, your pupils, and to see them as a model group to explore the topic and to speak with them and say, yes, let's do it." And so we started to make Zoom because in that time Zoom was very popular after the Corona
Mhm.
epidemic or pandemic. And so we started to have talks slowly, that they will know that they will meet me as a person because, the class is very sheltered and the school system is sheltering them and the teacher, of course. So slowly, we started to ask them questions and to have a dialogue with them. And we started like for a few months to have Zoom meetings with them. So this was, let's say, it gave us a lot of insights. And then on the other hand, I started to build the ensemble that will be participating in the work. And also I actually started is not the right say way to say because I am living in the second district and I'm walking there constantly. I always a person that is exploring and discovering things and everything is vivid and live and I'm excited from everything. So I started to learn about the neighborhood and always it was amazing the presence of the past in the present. The
Mhm.
fact that here there is a building. So before it was the Leopold Theater, this
Mhm.
big building in front. And then the theater is sitting in a triangle and there are two streets. One is going to the Jewish previous place of the synagogue and the other one is full of traffic of people, Jewish people, Orthodox people are going in. So as if it is an old place or the present place that is keeping the remaining of echoes of the past and
Mhm.
still recovering and having their own world. Yeah. And then you have the canal in the back. So the whole area is fruitful and I am always, it doesn't matter what theater piece I will make, I will always check what is the place I'm doing it,
Mhm.
which is Hamakom. I don't know if many people know what is the meaning of the word Hamakom, which is translation from Hebrew. It's a Hebrew word which mean
Mhm.
the place, Hamakom. So usually when you say the place, Hamakom means it's also another word for God because the place.
Okay.
So it's really a lot of meaning and material. So I felt very good, and I started my research to look, to see, and then the way I was asking to choose the team is to give them this task, which was already an advanced way to take, you remember in Arbeit, to take the responsibility as the next witnesses, the next one to give information about it from a source that is not living anymore. So to ask, I was asking the people that wanted to participate to prepare a testimony of a real witness. I gave them, I was finding the videos of Inge Ginsberg, and I was sending it to them. And they were sitting and learning exactly how she's talking, how she's behaving, and how she's telling her story. So actually, they were preparing option of being witnesses through the inspiration of Inge Ginsberg, which then was like she died really in that time. Otherwise, I would meet her by myself, and I would of course invite her to participate. But she left us a bit before. She was amazing, and of course I saw a lot of videos of her, and she's really extremely a real survivor, meaning surviving life. Let's say sometimes we need a more terrible event in order to express our little story of life. But I tell you, for some, in a certain aspect, you can say that life itself is quite tough to go through it and to stay alive. How many people are living, deciding to go before? And we know because we are living, how the story is continuing, and we are discovering things, and we are going through experiences, and we have high and falls, and etc., etc. So it was really great to learn from her. She was very much inspiring us. And then,
why did you choose her? Her and this specific story?
well, I tell you, she was the most shiny person that was alive then. She is from Vienna. Her language, the way she's talking, she is also cosmopolitan person. She is there in Israel and Switzerland and Vienna, and she knows so much, and she is an artist herself, And in her age, she chose to be with a punk group, singing and shouting, and really like actually telling us, hey, come on, you want to leave, you can leave, it's not a problem. Look at me, with a very modest way. So it was really a bonding with a person that I said it's a present. And if the artistic process is, there are things that are crossing. It's like, you are flying in the space and you see things that are matching exactly where you are in that moment. So she was really like a present for us on that aspect. She was representing the one that I was following, that represent the topic. This is one element. The other element was, of course, the young generation. How to bring the young generation to meet the past, and not to say boring or whatever, but to take the chance, to take the invitation and to participate. And this is amazing because this group of pupils from this school, it was anyway, I will remember, I will tell you after. It was amazing place, an amazing school in Neulengbach. Sorry for Neulengbach. They started to get interested in the topic slowly by slowly. And one day, I met the monument in Judenplatz. I was standing in front of the monument. I was totally in shock to see such a monument and to see the brilliant artistic ideas of this monument. And then I started to read about the monument. I learned what happened in the process of choosing Rachel to make this, to be the artist or the architect to design this. What she went through hell with the politics, with the bureaucracy and how to choose. And her idea was totally so far to get, but nevertheless, and of course, she was her person that was inviting it was Shimon Wiesenthal. Imagine that you have to negotiate with Shimon Wiesenthal, which is also wow. It's also a strong thing, yeah. Anyway, she got it and she started to do it, and I saw it and I say it's amazing. It's in the beginning, I was totally sure that it's possible to go inside because it's so inviting to come in to say, okay, I want, if this is a library, what is inside? And this gave me the first idea that actually I want to make a performance inside. That's why the next thing was, okay, let's start to collect books. And then from the theater, I got help, and finally, there was also a kind of a small miracle, because exactly in that time there was someone that was begging someone to come to his warehouse and to take around 25,000 books. I said, what? And he doesn't want anything. He just wants to come and take it, you know? And together with the shares, together with everything. Finally, we were paying something. It was really a joke, but we got it. And I said, okay, if it is possible to get so many books, I will find a way how to bring them into the theater. And then there was a lot of a long story, you know, it was, everything is an experience, you know, wow, it's a wow after wow after wow. So they brought the book. It was a day and it was a lot of boxes. And we need to find a way, a place in the theater, because the theater is an active place. So to put the boxes there, and first of all, because there were a lot of shares, we made, let's take the backstage of the theater and we put really a library that the people that are coming to other performances will start to, when they go to the toilet or go crossing inside, they will see the books, that there will be already a contact. And this was a small quantity. Now, in Hamakom, there is a cellar. And the first thing that I saw when I went to Hamakom, in general, was the cellar. And I fell in love with this cellar. I was really feeling that I'm connected to this cellar. It's an amazing place. You see, the walls are continuing to tell the story of what happened in these cellars, even not you know, it's really a place that is talking, you know, very strong energy there. And I started to discover the whole house, who was the architect of the house of the Hamakom. So it's really a lot of electricity, a lot of new things, and how to find the format to put everything together in a space. And I said, okay, I want to fill the place with books. I have plenty of books. I started to build alone in the beginning, to take the elements that are in the theater and to design everything from nothing. I had a book, and slowly, the cellar started to be a place, to be the place that later on was serving the second space, men's space of the more it comes, the more it goes.
And I mean, it was what I remembered. It was a very dark scene in the cellar, and it was very, how can you say, very very touching. Also, a little bit more than scary in historical dimension, in a way, and. Just to bring the elements together, we already have now. You had this walk from the schoolyard, from the Judenplatz to Hamakom, And then you had this performance with so many elements.
Yeah.
The story of Inge Ginsberg, which
Yeah.
is the relation to the topic of my project, but then the young people. So you have the transformation of remembrance in the generations.
Yeah.
Then you have the mass of books, which I now understand is a transformation of
Of the books.
of the
Yeah.
books
Of the monument, yes. The
of
connection.
the monument, yeah.
Exactly, the connection between the
Yeah.
monument and not
Yeah.
only the realistic reason why we walk from the monument through the city to the theater, but
Yeah.
also to see, okay, if metaphorically speaking, I open the monument to enter, and then you are familiar with the books. So what are these books? Because in the monument, it's anonymous books. There is
Yeah.
nothing is written. You don't know which are the
Yeah.
books. And
Yeah.
it's a very strong symbol that the books, every book, as we know, books are written by people, meaning every book is a person. So then the books that we got, real books that was written by people, became a representative of one person. Then what the teacher, together with the pupils, what they did as a kind of task during the performance, as a part of the dynamic of the performance, that they were taking every book and writing a number in order to put it in a catalog, meaning, let's say, D strich and the number. And this was standing also for the numbers that the people got in the concentration camp, in the Holocaust, that is giving them a number and not a name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a kind of something that is fitting each other, meaning that when you come to the performance, you start to meet the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, additionally, there were also, I call it again, surreal elements. One very important figure was the friendly monster. Who is he?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Yeah. Well, it's the thing and the symbol of the thing. The monster is Romy Kolb, which is a dancer that I work. I made with her some performances, and she was inside. Meaning that actually, of course, the meaning of it that the gorilla is representing something. Yeah. So basically, there is always the tendency of audience to ask, what did you mean by that? I didn't mean anything by that. Not that I did not mean by that. What I'm saying that I like more the idea that I am providing a tool for everyone to identify the thing with any idea that you want. And then we create, according to this approach, we are able to create a multi ways and different ways of possibility. It could be the past, it could be the culture, it could be the dream, it could be the child, it could be the inspiration, it could be something that is living, which is close to my feeling with the gorilla, because I felt that this gorilla is living in the place. She was never born and she will never die, but she is there. And she is playful. She is playful, very much being there. And the fact that, yes, the more it comes, the more it goes. The more I think about it, the more it comes that the idea that it's a kind of message for the spectator that while you are sitting in a performative event and you are getting inside a process, even if you are in a certain performance that is reminding you of something, stay awake. Stay awake with what is really happening in the event. So in what way? Because when you see the gorilla, sometimes you say, I don't understand what is the connection. Yeah. And when you are not understanding something, this is a good way to stay awake. Unless you are not awake. anyway, so you are already asleep. But the idea is, of course, please, audience, it's not a performance about the Holocaust. It's not a performance about a gorilla. It's not a performance about the life of whatever, but it is many, many things that is like a carpet for you to enjoy.
Just to add more elements of this carpet, there were also video projections.
Yeah.
But they were very special. It was not just anything, but it was very specific.
Yes.
And after, please tell a little bit about this, and then we come to the dark scene in the cellar. Yeah.
Okay. So the main two videos are like these videos that are representing the so-called the far generation, meaning Yoshua Sobol, which is also an artist that I collaborate with him many times. And there is also a person that took upon himself to write about the topic, to make performances about the topic. And he's the one that was making in the mainstream big production about the Holocaust, as his work Ghetto is one of the known one. And he's also by himself a very friendly, how to say, witness, a person to share the way together with him. So always we had a good contact and good exchanging experiences. So I wanted him, because he was also living in Austria for a few years before and had a connection to the situation in Austria, that he will be a voice that is now applying, because the performance is also addressing Austrian people, addressing local people in Austria, that he will send his voice into the air through the performance, that it will come into the ears of the spectators on one hand, and on the other hand, to find a character that is in the middle, local person, that can also be between the pupils from school, Magda Wojcik, and Yoshua Sobol. So these three elements has to have a voice in the performance. That was my feeling. So that's why I was integrating these three parts inside the general structure. So the Magda was writing a manifest about the topic, and she was straightforward reading it to the video, and I was putting it like it is inside the performance, and Sobol too. But with Sobol, I was putting a different material in all the way and combining it in a different way. Yeah.
And last question to the formal structure, this very specific scene in the dark cellar.
Yeah. So this is the place where was let's say, if no one left the cellar, what kind of life was there? So basically, it was, let's say, being very much taking from this is something that I have to say about the process of the rehearsals, because we always started when we met. Let's say we start a rehearsal at 10 o'clock, for example. We meet, first of all, we go to the neighborhood. We simply walk. If there is a sun, we stand in the sun, we get sun, we go to the Danube, we walk in the street, we start to explore the neighborhood, and we start to, for example, seeing the names, that there is a golden plaque in front of doors, what is happening, to see the people there, to learn the neighborhood, and to start to bring of the stories of the neighborhood, because you are walking, you are like a recorder, a video recorder and sounds recorder and emotional blending. You are walking and you bring this experience to the theater space. And then we're sitting and everyone was sharing their stories. So from this story, it created a mood, that was very much connected to what we had in the outer world, we brought into the inner world. And then we can title actually this cellar as the inner world.
Uh-huh.
the inner world of the spectators, the inner world
Mm-hmm.
of the characters, the inner world that this movement inside, that it is like happening in the dark. It was very nice and important experience for the spectators, because the people that came inside the theater were split into the group of touring the house, not like in Arbeit, macht, frei was the city, or Family Table was the city, but here it was inside one building to
Mm-hmm.
make the tours. In a previous project that I made in the Hamakom, I already made a small project inside the building. We were going up, going down, entering to the houses. I had a previous preparation for that. And in that sense, we were like coming into the cellar, bringing the stories and creating a world from
Mm-hmm.
it, together with combining the youths, the pupil movement. They were always constantly coming, because there was always showing you what is actually happening with the books, what is the dynamic with the book. So there is a
Mm-hmm.
place where they write the number, and then they take the book. They come to the cellar, they are putting in the shelf, they take another book, they're going to put it upstairs. They took from the library upstairs, bringing down. So there was always a loop, constant loop of dealing with the books.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, you have a video, you had a big screen that was screening different materials, and you had the action of the actors that were playing,
Mm-hmm.
the playful running from wall to wall, writing on the wall certain things, integrating, how do you say, energetic, either bursting of
Mm-hmm.
childhood, playing imaginary world between them. So, for example, there were tables that I was building on the table a small model of the monument. Let's say every table had a monument model, small, and then
Mm-hmm.
books that were covered with the number on it that gave the feeling of a concentration camp. So every
Yeah.
table was a little model
Yeah.
of the structure.
Yeah.
And around it, there was the dialogue. So when we brought the people from upstairs, we were sitting them in a very individual seats
Yeah.
around, like 10 people could sit, and they were totally isolated. And so the gorilla sometimes was passing behind you in the dark, and
Mm-hmm.
the actors were moving, and there was light under the table. There was a lot of book under the table with holes and light, so it looks like a building, like a neighborhood. So it was really evoking the imagination of the people to go with whatever is coming, and to approach to the idea that it is the inner world, and everything is mixed with music, with
Mm-hmm.
amazing work of Aranya Eigner, that it's also with her I was working for few performances, and yeah, it was really, I liked it very much.
And you already talked about the specific work on the rehearsals.
Yeah,
Uh, you had the different group. You had the young people from the school. You had the actors. You
yeah,
the videos getting in, the monster getting in.
yeah,
How did you put this together, and what did it mean for the specific interaction with the audience? What what was, let's say, the role of the audience there? I think you thought very specifically
yeah, yeah.
what the role of the audience should or could be there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that I can place first of all the elements, because
Yeah.
every what it was in common, that it brought the elements to the people to say, look, even if I'm coming from another country and I'm making a performance about this, it's local material.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
the pupils are coming from the school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell them what to say. They were free to say whatever they want. They were totally free to be what they are. So I was embracing the whole element and saying the whole element is getting into the structure. The next one was the so-called the the approach of acting, let's say performers that are making certain artistic work with certain materials. So this was, let's say, more familiar as how theater is dealing with a topic. Yeah, so them. And then there was a very interesting topic I met through my son that was reading something about someone, and he said, Father, look, this person, there was a guy that was taking the book of Hitler,
Yeah.
and he was sitting in front of the people and cutting the book into pieces, not like that. He was cutting the text into, like he says, atomize, right?
Yeah.
Cutting everything and to bring the book that was so charged into the basic of just being a pile of letters. And from this, gluing it again and creating a cookbook.
Yes, yeah.
And he is Austrian.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed by the fact there is a person that is, of course, for me, very optimistic message for people, how they are elaborated material. And people here are making the work. They are going for it. They are going for it in a very, if he's a representative for Austrians in general that are dealing with the topic, I say, wow, if there is, I wish that in every society, in every country, there will be a person that is represents such a so advanced way to finish with the topic, to really to dismantle, to break the whole book into them, to make a total reset. And the total reset is so important in life to do sometimes, to make a reset and to start new, something new, fresh. And he called it kind month, which is an expression that you use. And I was so impressed by him. And I say, you know, Andreas, would you like to participate in the performance? He said, yes. So immediately he got in and he brought his table work into the performance, that people will meet him and will be impressed by saying, wow. And it was amazing because it's great because in a way it was not theater happening around this table.
Yeah.
It was a real meeting between surprised people and this amazing real things that is happening in front of their eyes. So I was also like Inge, he was also a gift to this performance.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
A great gift. Yeah. And
yes.
And so we have now we collected so many elements.
Yeah.
There is the carpet. What is your conclusion on the piece? How did it work out? What was your feeling about it? Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I think another present that was there, meaning when I say present, meaning it's also about, I'm not saying I did it. It's not about, let's say, the ego or the director that is making a piece, No, I think that I'm just a tool and I have to just be there and allow the things. Sometimes the work is to allow things that are knocking on your door to be presented and not to think it's me. It's just go ahead. So another thing that was coming just like that was the title. The more it comes, the more it goes. So if I put Arbeit, macht, frei on one hand and I put the more it comes, the more it goes, you see the evolution that the society did from then until here. And today, the more it comes, the more it goes, meaning nothing, you are not attached to anything. It is making a separation between you and the material. You as a person, and the material that people are calling it past or present or future or whatever, but something is coming, living their experience and going, and you are somebody else. Yeah, you are not identified with anything. You are just impressed or going through the experience, and also no one is the owner of anything. Not the theater, and not me, and not the actors, and not the the gorilla and not the
Mm-hmm.
person that was designing the cloth of the gorilla, but all together is something that more it comes, the more, and more it goes, and the process is continuing further. So I think this was also a kind of good lesson.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds really utopian, that this kind of transformation and also kind of freedom, because you're not possessed of the past any longer,
Yeah,
is possible in a
yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, if you allow to put some insights about it, because it is also about artistic choice, how to make it. Usually when you make theater, so you speak about quantities, you speak about many spectators, you speak about many performances. You want to be acknowledged by the so-called the establishment of the theater, and on the other hand, totally in another way, there is another agenda that that not really needs the main title of the newspaper or the critic of the critics or the recognition of
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Is this idea that it is a privilege, and it is addressing a certain consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
People that are in a certain consciousness are coming to a certain theater.
Mm-hmm.
People that have a different consciousness are going to another theater or another situation, the way they experience this. What I like in the whole experience of the more it comes, the more it goes, and also before whatever, that we are talking about little experience that
Mm-hmm.
have, it's like I don't know, somehow when you look at universe from the telescope from another uh, uh, planet, everything looks very small.
Mm-hmm.
So inside the human experience, the more it comes, the more it goes, it's a little piece of sand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the little piece of sand has a very high value of a little step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's nothing that, it's not about changing the world, but just
Mm-hmm.
making the next step, that
Mm-hmm.
you come there and you say, aha,
Mm-hmm.
yes, there is
Mm-hmm.
a performance
Mm-hmm.
that is manifesting something that I feel, meaning there is a reality of our feelings,
Mm-hmm.
of the way we want to change things. By the way, when you look at the realistic, so-called realistic happening, because when things are happening, doesn't matter good or bad, etc., there is always the flow of the self-recognition
Mm-hmm.
you learn to do to improve your life, to
Mm-hmm.
make, and that's what I feel with the more it comes, the more it goes. It's from this kind of
Mm-hmm.
work. Yeah.
Thank you for this. But and final questions is the here and now. What are your current ideas? And also, I mean, the world is out of order. As,
Yeah,
as well
yeah,
in Israel after the 7th of October and
yeah,
the process following, as well as in Austria, where
yeah.
we are
It's true.
scared to have a right wing chancellor in soon
Yeah,
future. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So first of all, to say that,
But it doesn't have to be related. But
yeah, yeah, of course, of course. I would say that in the last year, I'm very much busy to to edit, to cut material, because I was filming a lot,
Mhm.
many of my performances, and I have a lot of material. And I said, I know that people sometimes interested and they want to watch
Mhm.
process, whatever. I would like to send my work in a organized, that
Yeah, yeah,
there
yeah,
will be access. So I remember myself a student, always a sweaty student, looking for a little clip or text
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
picture
yeah.
somewhere. It was always a work. So according to my work, I think that I will be managing the ability to bring everything into order. And I mentioned this also about The More It Comes, The More It Goes, which I was filming everything. And I finished to cut the movie, and there is a film, a movie,
Cool.
a video film that will be presented in Hamakom somewhere in the summer or before the summer, May,
Cool.
June, or
Yeah.
this area. I will let you know about it.
Of course. Yeah.
And of course, after showing it there, it will be possible that I give you the link, and then it's possible to put
Cool.
the link in
Yeah.
your
Cool. Very
website.
cool. Yeah.
This is one thing. And about life or about what is happening, it's always happening. Something is happening. It's I sometimes think about places where as if nothing is happening. Maybe there was not enough snow this year, or maybe
Mhm.
there was an eclipse this year, or maybe I don't know. I once in Vienna I saw a film by a director that for almost an hour showing a beam of light on a field, and we were sitting there just observing the changes of a little light between
Mhm.
9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, from 10
Mhm.
o'clock to 11 o'clock. And they were there quite, it was full. And we were
Mhm.
sitting there, the audience, and we were watching it. And it was also okay. And
Mhm.
and I think that if we would not be so much loyal for the other news of the rhythm, that
Mhm.
you always immediately you wake up and you are connected and things are following, it doesn't matter. Let's say when you are afraid from something extreme, the more extreme will come. This is
Mhm.
totally logic, yeah. This
Mhm.
is general to say. And another principal thing to say that I very much understand the idea of now it's my turn.
Mhm.
Okay, the world and politics and society and different in a different level, there is always this principle. It's my turn. They
Mhm.
say when the left extreme wants to have to be my turn, they do whatever, and then their turn is arriving. And now, what can we say? It's the time of these people to say it's my turn. So I think that in that sense, I know that it doesn't matter what we do about it. Everyone, I think in the same time, what is nice with my turn, that every time there are many different people from different colors, from different approaches that are saying it's my turn, and
Mhm.
that something is happening. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that if on one hand there is the this allowance, a principal allowance to say, okay, I can contain whatever is not my cup of tea. I can contain it on one hand. On the other hand, to see things new are coming and happening, and sometimes extremes, because of many reasons, are providing exactly the opposite. Sometimes the right is giving more money for art than the left, or
Mhm.
sometimes the left is it's so many absurds are happening in these things, and it is very much surprising. And with fears, everyone needs to learn to deal with fears. Fears are not the thing itself.
Mhm.
Predicting that things will happen is just a mechanism of fears. And if you are taking care about yourself and about your life and about the nutrition, either it's food, either it's opinions, either it's media, either whatever, so you find your way to flourish. Always. There's no danger whatsoever. And after the rain, there is something new is coming. And now in Israel, it was really, I know, terrible. Yeah, terrible. And nevertheless, new generation is coming, and I think that there is a reason why things are happening. Not reason a realistic reason, but a reason of a need. If there is a material or there is a population, they need a revolution or they need terrible things to happen. It is happening because it's a part of their evolution, about their development. So I am very optimist, and I know that yeah, there will be good days too.
Thank you for that optimistic
Yeah.
perspective, which gives hope. And such a great pleasure to talk to you. Let's continue it. Thank
Yes.
you so much, David.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your initiative. It's a very nice one.